Okay guys, so this is day 2 lesson on vectors. It is pretty much related to the last lesson, translations, but all you are doing is writing it in a different way, but it is the same lesson from Thursday. Okay, so a vector, if you've ever watched the movie Despicable Me, there's a character in there, his name is Vector, and he describes himself exactly like what a vector is in math. So a vector is a quantity with both direction and magnitude. So just like in the movie, it's a quantity with both direction and magnitude. Direction, what do we mean by direction? Left, right, up, or down. And magnitude means how far. So it's literally still the same thing. We are moving a shape left, right, up, down. And then we have to move it, like we have to know how far. So that's all it is. A vector is represented by a coordinate plane by an arrow drawn from. So when you want to represent a vector, it's an arrow, just like this one. We have a starting point, so we call it the initial point. And for this one on the left, this picture on the left, the initial point is P. How do you know where you're starting? Because this is where the point is, and then it's going to the arrow. So we're going from P to Q. It could have been this way, where the arrow was to P, then you're going from Q to P. So it depends on where the arrow is. The initial point P to the ending point, which we call it the terminal point. The terminal point Q. So we're ending at Q. The vector is denoted as, so how do we write it? We write it as vector PQ because we start at P and go to Q. And that's how you read it, vector PQ. Component form, so the component form is the directions. Okay, so we write it as this very straight bracket, A comma B. Okay, this is literally a direction. It's going to give you two numbers. So if it was like this, -1, 5, that means you're going left 1 and up 5. If it was 3 comma -7, then you're going right 3 and down 7. It is a direction. It is not a coordinate, which is why it's in those very straight brackets. It is a direction. So if I go back to 2 lessons ago, this is how we wrote it last week. This is called coordinate notation, and it was a direction. It told us, hey, the initial points are translating 7 to the right and down 9. This week, all we're doing is changing it. Now it's vector form. So we would write it as 7 to the right because it's positive and down 9 because it's negative. And this one say the exact same thing, but you write it different. One is shorter and one is longer on how we write it, but it is the same lesson. Okay, and then the notes kind of tell you A is the horizontal component, like if you're moving left or right, how much, and B is the vertical component. So how would I write this vector? I would write it as vector PQ, so vector PQ, and its component form, how far did it go? Well, from P, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to the right, so that's a positive 4. If it goes left, you put -4, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 up, so that's +7, comma +7. So it looks like a coordinate, but it's not a coordinate. It is a vector, PQ, is going in the direction 4, 7, because it went 4 to the right and up 7. Okay, so I will do 2 examples from here, and you should be able to do the rest. Name the vector, give me the name, and write its component form. So all the answers should look like this, the name and the vector component form. All right, so let's look at this one. Okay, are we starting at W or V? We're starting at W because the arrow is going to V. So from W, first we go right or left. So we're going right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to the right, and then you go up 1, 2, 3, 3 up. So this vector WV, the directions say to give the name. So we did that part. and now its component form is 9 to the right, so positive 9, and 3 up. There you go. It's telling us how far it went, in what directions it goes. So it's telling us two things. This says positive, so that means right, and how far? 9. This is positive, it means up. How far? 3. The last one I'll do is, I guess, 10. So for 10, is it G to H or H to G? It is vector H to G, because the arrow is starting at H and then it's pointing to G. Okay, so where are we moving? The first number is always left and right. Okay, this arrow is going left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 left. That means that's a negative 11 because we went left. Now, did we go up or down? We didn't, so that's 0. And we close it and we're done. For the back, you are going to do the same thing that we did last week. We are going to graph, label the figure and the image, and then give the coordinates. Okay? So S, -4 up 2, label. T, 5 down 1. U, -2 down 2. Okay, connect your points. And now, this is a direction. Okay, it's very similar to, again, last week. Last week, it was written in coordinate notation, which told us write 7 down 9. This time, they wrote it in vector component form, but it means the same thing. So we're going to go, because the first number is left and right, it's left because it's negative, and then down because it's negative. Okay, so you can count one at a time if you want to. You can go left 1, down 5, and then drop S prime. Left 1, down 5. Left 1, down 5. And then that's where you would know where the new coordinates are. Or you can do the same thing we practiced last week, where you subtract 1, subtract 5 from each one. The X's you subtract 1, and the Y's you subtract 5. Subtract 1, subtract 5, subtract 1, subtract 5. I like to do algebra instead, but you can also count box by box. So for S prime, it's -5, and 2 minus 5 is -3. For T, it's 4 and -6. And for U, -2 minus 1 is -3, -2 minus 5 is -7. Okay, these are points, so we should not be writing them like in vector form. Okay, they're points, so they go back to parentheses. And now I'm going to graph my new points, -5, -3. S prime. U is -3 down 7. U prime. And T is 4 down 6. Okay, the directions say to graph both triangles, to label both of them, and to give their new coordinates. And then there you go. So what part is this a vector for? The vectors are where you would see S to S prime. That's the vector. See how this arrow goes left 1 and down 5? So the vector is actually this part. This is our vector. It's just showing you how all these 3 arrows, these 3 vectors, moved left 1, down 5. So you should be able to do the other pictures. The shape should look the same size, the same shape. Nothing should change. And for the bottom, the last part is you are telling me from the pre-image, that means the starting image, to its image. You got to give me coordinate notation, so that's what we learned last week, in vector component form. So we're going to do 16 like we did in class. Okay, first, which one is the starting triangle? The top one. This one's the pre-image. And the copy is the bottom one. How do we know? Because it has these little tallies. So that's the second one, right? P prime, Q prime, R prime. Okay, so you want to go from P to P prime, Q to Q prime. I'm going to go from Q to Q prime. Okay, so from Q, how am I going to get to Q prime? How do I go there? Left or right? Right 1, 1 to the right. And then up or down? Down. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 down. So the directions say, A, write it in coordinate notation form. So that's last week. Last week it would be X comma Y. You have to write that part. Translating. Okay, this part is talking about the first picture. All the original points are moving. Where are they moving to? X plus 1 because it went to the right, and Y minus 7 because it went down. Okay, those are all parentheses. For vector form, you're not going to give them names because they don't really have names, but it'd be +1, -7. And it says the same thing. It means it went right 1 and down 7. Okay, so that was our lesson for today.